Well, greetings once again on a beautiful Friday morning or whenever you happen to be watching this video. And we are in a series of often overlooked passages or verses that you may have missed. You may have overlooked it. You may have not, but we're going to find out today as we look at John chapter 18. And if you'd like to turn there, you are welcome to do so. Here, reading from the New American Standard Bible, beginning with verse 1. When Jesus had spoken these words, he went away with his disciples across the ravine of the Kidron. Okay, Jesus has been in the upper room. We call it the upper room discourse. And he has finished what he wanted to say up there with where he had the Last Supper with the men. And he has gone down into the ravine of the Kidron, the Kidron Valley there, and up to the Mount of Olives. And so he's there in the Mount of Olives, all right, where there was a garden which he entered. And you can enter that garden today, by the way. It's amazing. But he enters that garden with his disciples. Now, Judas, who was betraying him, also knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas, having obtained the Roman cohort and officers from the chief priests and the Pharisees, came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Okay. Here's the part you may have overlooked. When Scripture says, as John records this event, that Judas was able to convince a Roman cohort to go with him. A Roman cohort is as many as 600 men. This is quite a throng, and these are Roman soldiers. But along with the Roman soldiers are also temple guards that come along with him, the Roman cohort and officers from the chief priest. There were temple guards around, and several of them, a good number of them, who were often on watch and were deployed to join with Judas and all of these Roman soldiers, and also the chief priests and the Pharisees. We have quite a group, and some have estimated as many as 1,000 people in this huge throng, and Matthew even adds and calls it just a huge amount of people. And so think of a group that could rise to about 1,000 people. That's very important for you to know, that is coming to arrest one man with his mighty band of disciples. So we read on. Jesus, in verse 4, Jesus, therefore, knowing that all things that were coming upon him, knowing that all things were coming upon him, he came out into the open and said to them, all right, to them, it's this whole crowd of people. Of course, the Pharisees are and the soldiers' leadership is right at the front of this. And so they're right there. In a sense, Jesus is confronting them rather than the other way around. And Jesus says to them, "Whom are you seeking?" And they answered him, "Well, we're seeking Jesus the Nazarene." He said to them, Jesus said to them, "I am he." And Judas also, who was betraying him, was standing with them. And now then, when Jesus said to them, "I am he," listen to this, they drew back and fell to the ground. Who are they? Upwards of 1,000 people, mostly men, probably all men. When he said, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. Can you imagine? Just imagine this event. Now, here's something that I think is so powerful. Jesus said, "Ego eimi. Now he said that in the Greek, that's the Greek, ego eimi. I am he. Well, that was also stated back in the days of Moses. Moses in Exodus 3, verse 14, where Moses said to God, God had said to Moses, I'm going to send you to the Israelites and you're going to deliver them out of Egypt. And he says, well, if I go to them, God, what shall I say to him? What shall I say who sent me? What shall I tell them? And God said, tell them, ego eimi. Now that's Greek. That is the Septuagint, the Greek version of the Old Testament. But he said those words, ego eimi, that transliterate through the Hebrew. He said the same words. What does that mean? Ego eimi. It means I am he. It means I am the eternally existing one. It means I am that I am. I have always existed. That's what it means. And that's what he said that day to all those soldiers and temple priests, the temple police, and the Pharisees, and the Sadducees, and all who came out that day. Almost 1,000 people fell to the ground when he said, I am the eternal existing one. Now, if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what does. Fantastic. Maybe you overlooked that. Well, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.